everybody. Welcome to Conk's Corner, the show where I eat a puppy. I'm going to eat a dog. But it's really, I really read Harry Potter every single day for an hour. We've been doing it for 6 months. I've never read the books before. Please don't spoil anything in the chat or in the comments. Today, I wore my ramen noodle soup tracksuit. Check it out. Ramen noodle soup chicken tracksuit. And I wore it because today we have a very special guest. And that very special guest is a good... Come over here. This is Kenton. We've been best friends, and we were roomies for 4.5 years.
Way too long.
Way too long. Way too much time together.
Way too much.
Who's your favorite Harry Potter character? Actually, who would you be in the Harry Potter universe?
I think I would be Galadriel.
Get out of here. Get at it. Okay, so. So what's been your Harry Potter journey?
My Harry Potter journey.
Yeah.
I won a reading competition in grade 6.
Wait, you just read in front of people?
We got points for reading books in elementary school, and whoever won would get a book from the teacher.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was reading, I don't know, something, and I won. So he gave me this book, and he said, "I think you'll like it."
And it was Harry Potter.
It was Harry Potter.
How old were you?
Grade 6.
Grade 6. How old were you?
Grade 6.
How old were you?
Grade 6.
Ah, okay, I gotcha. And so since then you've just been reading TYA books.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
All right, get out of here. So we're just gonna get started. Actually, here, do you wanna draw on my scar? Kenton can draw on my scar for today.
I'll do my best.
Okay, here we go. Oh no, it's all in the middle. No, Kenton. Ah.
There we go.
That's the best scar yet on the show. It's horrible. Okay. Friends, sound doesn't work when you switch cameras. Again, I don't know what's going on. Can you hear this? Can you hear both of us? Just give me a yes or no. We'll just move on, and I'll read it later. Okay, so last thing that happened, they got to Hogwarts. Yes, slug blood, or what is mud slug? Professor Mudslug. He is teaching not defense against the dark arts. He's teaching potions, and Snape is teaching defense against the dark arts. So that's going to be an interesting year with him doing that. They all decided that the Golden Trifecta decided they're not going to take Hagrid's class, so we're going to see how he reacts to that. Yes, with a split screen. Perfecto! And Chapter 9 is called The Half-Blood Prince. So we'll see where the magic goes. Literally! Harry and Ron met Hermione in the common room before breakfast next morning. Hoping for some support for his theory, Harry lost no time in telling Hermione what he had overheard Malfoy saying on the Hogwarts Express. But he was obviously showing off of Parkinson, wasn't he? Interjected Ron quickly, before Hermione could say anything. Well, she said uncertainly, I don't know. It would be like Malfoy to make himself seem more important than he is, but that's a big lie to tell. Exactly, said Harry. But he could not press the point because so many people were trying to listen in to his conversation, not to mention staring at him and whispering behind their hands. That's some really dark magic on your oh my gosh, that looks horrendous. That's the worst.
No, it's the best. They're saying it's the best one yet.
The rest of the book is just black pages after this. Okay. It's rude to point, Ron snapped at a particularly minuscule first year as they joined the queue to climb out of the portrait hole. The boy, who had been muttering something about Harry behind his hand to his friend, promptly turned scarlet and toppled out of the hole in alarm. Ron sniggered. I love being a sixth year. And we're going to be getting free time this year. Whole periods when we can just sit up here and relax. We're going to need that time for studying, Ron, said Hermione, as they set off down the corridor. There they are again, bickering away.
Sniggering away.
Sniggering and bickering away. Yeah, but not today, said Ron. Today is going to be a real DOS, I reckon. DOS? I don't know what that is. Hold it, said Hermione, throwing out an arm and halting a passing fourth year. who was attempting to push past her with a lime green disc clutched tightly in his hand. "Fanged frisbees are banned. Hand it over," she told him sternly. The scowling boy handed over the snarling frisbee. Snarling frisbee?
What does that look like?
What? Our magician's just like, oh, here's an object. Let's just give it an emotion.
Yeah.
This frisbee's just not angry enough.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Let's take away their fun while they're playing frisbee.
Ow. There we go. Asian was drowned by a loud giggle. Lavender Brown had apparently found Ron's remark highly amusing. Ooh. She continued to laugh as she passed them, glancing back at Ron over her shoulder. Ron looked rather pleased with himself. Ron. Ron, you're so funny. The ceiling of the Great Hall was serenely blue and streaked with frail, wispy clouds, just like the squares of sky visible through the high, mullioned windows. I like that word, mullioned.
What does it mean?
I don't know. Do you know?
No. I only read TYA. And even then, I struggle.
Mullioned. If somebody can tell us what mullioned means, that's great. Oh, you lost me there for a second, hey? I don't know what that is. Well, mullioned windows. While they tucked into porridge and eggs and bacon, Harry and Ron told Hermione about their embarrassing conversation with Hagrid the previous evening. "But he can't really think we'd continued care of magical creatures," she said, looking distressed. "I mean, when has any of us expressed, any enthusiasm?" "That's it, though, innit?" said Ron, swallowing an entire fried egg whole. He's always eating. We were the ones who made the most effort in classes because we like Hagrid, but he thinks we liked it because of the stupid subject. Do you reckon anyone's going to go on to Newt? Neither Harry nor Hermione answered. There was no need. They knew perfectly well that nobody in their year would want to continue care of magical creatures. They avoided Hagrid's eye and returned his cheery wave only half-heartedly when he left the staff table 10 minutes later. After they had eaten, they remained in their places, awaiting Professor McGonagall's descent from the staff table. The distribution of timetables was more complicated than usual this year, for Professor McGonagall needed first to confirm that everybody had achieved the necessary owl grades to continue with their chosen newts. Hermione was immediately cleared to continue with charms. Defense against the dark arts, transfiguration, herbology, arithmancy, ancient runes, and potions, and shot off to a first-period ancient runes class without further ado. Neville took a little longer to sort out. His round face was anxious as Professor McGonagall looked down his application and then consulted his owl results. "Herbology. Fine," she said. "Professor Sprout will be delighted to see you back with an outstanding owl. And you qualify for defense against the dark arts. Oh gosh. Defense against the dark arts. It exceeds expectations. But the problem is transfiguration. I'm sorry, Longbottom, but an acceptable really isn't good enough to continue to Newt level. I just don't think you'd be able to cope with the coursework." Neville hung his head. Professor McGonagall peered at him through her square spectacles. "Why do you want to continue with transfiguration anyway? I've never had the impression that you particularly enjoyed it." Neville looked miserable and muttered something about, "My grandmother wants." "Humph!" Snorted Professor McGonagall. "It's high time your grandmother learned to be proud of the grandson she's got, rather than the one she thinks she ought to have, particularly after what happened at the ministry." That's right, stupid grandmother. It was quite a vicious attack that Kenton gave my forehead. It looks so ridiculous, Kenton. It looks so ridiculous.
I'll improve it.
Hey, whoa, no. This is starting to look like a swastika. We don't want that.
No. It won't.
No.
Okay,
yeah, fix it.
I'll do some more.
Oh, no. I was like, it's like I got hammered
Is
in the
that
head.
better?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not better, Ken.
I think it's an improvement, personally.
Oh my gosh. You're never coming back. Neville turned very pink and blinked confusedly. Professor McGonagall had never paid him a compliment before. Now it's Trogdor. It looks like his brains are pushing out of his head. It looks like a chef's kiss. All right, let's keep going. Neville turned very pink and blinked confusedly. Professor McGonagall had never paid him a compliment before. I'm sorry, Longbottom, but I cannot let you into my newt class. I see that you have an exceeds expectations in charms, however. Why not try for a newt in charms? My grandmother thinks charms is a soft option, mumbled Neville. Take charms, said Professor McGonagall, and I shall drop Augusta a line, reminding her that just because she failed her charms owl, the subject is not necessarily worthless. Smiling slightly at the look of delighted incredulity on Neville's face, is really nice.
Incredulity, what does that mean, John?
Incredulous.
What does it
Can't
mean?
believe it.
What does it mean?
Stop testing my English.
Tell us.
You're out of frame.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Yeah. It. Oh man. I do have a dictionary on here, so I can use that too. Where are we? Professor McGonagall tapped a blank timetable with the tip of her wand and handed it, now carrying details of his new classes, to Neville. Yeah, McGonagall's really great in this. Professor McGonagall turned next to Parvati Patil, whose first question was whether Firenze, the handsome centaur, was still teaching divination. He and Professor Trelawney are dividing classes between them this year, said Professor McGonagall, a hint of disapproval in her voice. It was common knowledge that she despised the subject of divination. The 6th year is being taken by Professor Trelawney. Parvati set off for divination 5 minutes later, looking slightly crestfallen. So, Potter, said Professor McGonagall, consulting her notes as she turned to Harry. Charms, defense against the dark arts, herbology, transfiguration, all fine. I must say, I was pleased with your transfiguration mark, Potter. Very pleased. Now, why haven't you applied to continue with potions? I thought it was your ambition to become an aura. It was, but you told me I had to get an outstanding in my owl, Professor. And so you did, when Professor Snape was teaching the subject. Professor Slughorn, however, is perfectly happy to accept newt students with exceeds expectations at owl. Do you wish to proceed with potions? Yes, said Harry, but I didn't buy the books or any ingredients or anything. I'm sure Professor Slughorn will be able to lend you some, said Professor McGonagall. Very well, Potter. Here is your timetable. Oh, by the way, 20 hopefuls have already put down their names for the Gryffindor Quidditch team. I shall pass the list to you in due course, and you can fix up trials at your leisure. A few minutes later, Ron was cleared to do the same subjects as Harry, and the two of them left the table together. All right. He's going to become an aura, probably.
Yeah.
Are you just dying to tell me things? Are you good at keeping spoilers and secrets?
Yeah, I haven't told you anything yet.
No, I know. I'm just wondering.
So then I'm good at it.
I guess so. A few minutes later...
Stop arguing with me.
Look, said Ron delightedly, gazing at his timetable. Got a free period now, and a free period after break. And after lunch. Excellent! They returned to the common room, which was empty apart from half a dozen 7th years, including Katie Bell, the only remaining member of the original Gryffindor Quidditch team that Harry had joined in his first year. I thought you'd get that. Well done, she called over, pointing at the captain's badge on Harry's chest. Tell me when you call trials. Don't be stupid, said Harry. You don't need to try out. I've watched you play for 5 years. You mustn't start off like that, she said. Wait. She called over. Right, so they're still calling at each other. You mustn't start off like that, she said warningly. For all you know, there's someone much better than me out there. Good teams have been ruined before now because captains just kept playing the old faces or letting in their friends. Ron looked a little uncomfortable and began playing with a fanged frisbee Hermione had taken from the fourth year. It zoomed around the common room, snarling and attempting to take bites of the tapestry. Why? Why do they play with this stupid thing?
Makes it more interesting. Pure chaos.
Yeah. Just like, hey, you want to play catch with a ball? Yeah, sure, but
it just might eat your face.
Yeah, it'll eat your face. It'll just cry all the time. Don't throw me.
Yeah, soccer's too boring.
Yes, way too boring. It zoomed around the... Crookshank's yellow eyes followed it, and he hissed when it came too close. I miss Oliver Wood. Yeah, Oliver was a great character. Does Kenton always walk around with that background too? I mean, probably. Yeah. Yeah, Wood was such a bro. I wish we knew what was taught in Muggle studies. Yeah, I wish so too, Thomas. That would actually be pretty interesting.
It'd be super boring.
Yeah, actually, for us, it would be. That's very true.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and they also eat food at a table together.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you think at this school they have, sex ed?
No way.
You don't think they do?
No. They let it run rampant. They have spells in case things go wrong.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. They let it run rampant.
Yeah, Hogwarts is there for a reason.
An hour later, they reluctantly left the sunlit common room for the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom 4 floors below. Hermione was already queuing outside, carrying an armful of heavy books and looking put upon. We've got so much homework for runes, she said anxiously, when Harry and Ron joined her. A 15-inch essay, 2 translations, and I've got to read these by Wednesday. Shame. Shame, yawned Ron. You wait, she said resentfully. I bet Snape gives us loads. The classroom door opened as she spoke, and Snoop stepped into the corridor, his sallow face framed as ever by 2 curtains of greasy black hair. Silence fell over the queue immediately. Inside, he said. Harry looked around as they entered. Snape had imposed his personality upon the room already. It was gloomier than usual as curtains had been drawn over the windows and was lit by candlelight. New pictures adorned the walls, many of them showing people who appeared to be in pain, sporting grisly injuries or strangely contorted body parts. Nobody's... Why? Welcome to my class, and here's a bunch of mangled bodies. You want to see some messed up shit? Oh man, it's really funny. Nobody spoke as they settled down, looking around at the shadowy, gruesome pictures. I have not asked you to take out your books, said Snape.
I've asked you to take out your arms.
Nice. Yeah. Closing the door and moving to face the class from behind his desk. Hermione hastily dropped her copy of Confronting the Faceless back into her bag and stowed it under her chair. I wish to speak to you, and I want your fullest attention. His black eyes roved over their upturned faces, lingering for a fraction of a second longer on Harry's than anyone else's. Classic. You have had 5 teachers in the subject so far, I believe. You believe. Like you haven't watched them all come and go, Snape, hoping you'd be next, thought Harry scathingly. Naturally, these teachers will all have had their own methods and priorities. Given this confusion, I am surprised so many of you scraped an owl in this subject. I shall be even more surprised if all of you manage to keep up with the Newt work, which will be much more advanced. Snape set off around the edge of the room, speaking now in a lower voice. Oh, the class craned their necks to keep him in view. The dark arts, said Snape, are many, varied, ever-changing, and eternal. Fighting them is like fighting a many-headed monster, which, each time a neck is severed, sprouts a head even fiercer and cleverer than before. You are fighting that which is unfixed, mutating, indestructible. Harry stared at Snape. It was surely one thing to respect the dark arts as a dangerous enemy, another to speak of them, as Snape was doing, with a loving caress in his voice. Your defenses, said Snape a little louder, must therefore be as flexible and inventive as the arts you seek to undo. These pictures, he indicated a few of them as he swept past. Oh. Give a fair representation of what happens to those who suffer. For instance, the Cruciatus Curse. He waved a wand towards a witch who was clearly shrieking in agony.
What?
Look. Ah! The Cruciatus Curse. Look at her. Feel the Dementor's kiss. A wizard lying huddled and blank-eyed slumped against the wall. Or provoke the aggression of the Inferius. A bloody mass upon the ground. Ooh. Has an Inferius been seen then? Said Parvati Patil in a high-pitched voice. Is it definite? Is he using them?
Wow.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah. The Dark Lord has used Inferi in the past, said Snape, which means you would be well advised to assume he might use them again. Now, he set off again around the other side of the classroom towards his desk, and again the class watched him as he walked, his dark robes billowing behind him. You are, I believe, complete novices in the use of non-verbal spells. What is the advantage of a non-verbal spell? Hermione's hand shot up into the air. Snape took his time looking around at everybody else, making sure he had no choice, before saying very curtly, Very well. Miss Granger? Your adversary has no warning about what kind of magic you're about to perform, said Hermione, which gives you a split-second advantage. She's such a teacher's pet.
Yeah.
Well, how are you in school?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't read past grade 6, remember?
Oh, yeah, of course. Forgot.
Me?
An answer copied almost word for word from the Standard Book of Spells, grade 6, said Snape dismissively. Over in the corner, Malfoy sniggered. But correct in essentials, yes. Those who progress to using magic without shouting incantations gain an element of surprise in their spell casting. Not all wizards can do this, of course. It is a question of concentration and mind power, which some, his gaze lingered maliciously upon Harry once more, lack. Harry knew Snape was thinking of their disastrous occlumency lessons of the previous year. He refused to drop his gaze, but glowered at Snape until Snape looked away. Oh, I won that one! I'll be the Hermione here. Regular technology doesn't work at Hogwarts. Has anyone read Hogwarts: A History? No, I have not. You will now divide, Snape went on, into pairs. One partner will attempt to jinx the other without speaking. The other will attempt to repel the jinx in equal silence. Carry on. Although Snape did not know it, Harry had taught at least half the class. Oh yeah, he doesn't know that. Everyone who had been a member of the DA had to perform a shield charm the previous year. None of them had ever cast the charm without speaking, however. A reasonable amount of cheating ensued. Many people were merely whispering the incantation instead of saying it aloud. Typically, 10 minutes into the lesson, Hermione managed to repel Neville's muttered jelly-legs jinx without uttering a single word, a feat that would surely have earned her 20 points for Gryffindor from any reasonable teacher, thought Harry bitterly, but which Snape ignored. He swept between them as they practiced, looking just as much like an overgrown bat as ever. I'm Batman. Fear me. I am the terror of the night. Roar.
Get out of here, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah, right?
Cannot wait. Lingering to watch Harry and Ron struggling with the task. Ron, who was supposed to be jinxing Harry, was purple in the face, his lips tightly compressed to save himself from the temptation of muttering the incantation.
No, it's because he didn't take sex ed.
Yeah, that's why.
He doesn't know how to control himself. Nothing to do with it.
Harry had his wand raised, waiting on tenterhooks to repel a jinx that seemed unlikely ever to come. Just for teaching, I know there's some kind of discussion about technology going on there, eh? You can tell John was missing you, Mark Fleming. He's on fine form. In what? What do you suppose the Hogwarts Wi-Fi password would be if they could have it? Voldemort sucks. Something like that. Pathetic Weasley, said Snape after a while. Yeah, let me show you. He turned his wand on Harry so fast that Harry reacted instinctively. All thought of non-verbal spells forgotten, he yelled, Potato!
Potato?
Potato! Potato! His shield charm was so strong, Snape was knocked off balance and hit a desk. Oh, sweet. The same desk that Harry plowed his face into books ago. There's just like two dents now. There's one of Harry's face and the other of Snape's, like perfect incantations of their faces.
Oh, I'd love to be in class and just yell random words.
Pogo stick! The whole class had looked round and now watched as Snape righted himself, scowling. Do you remember me telling you we were practicing non-verbal spells, Potter? Yes, said Harry stiffly. Yes, sir. There's no need to call me sir, Professor. Oh! Oh!
Burned!
That's a good one. I think we got through 2 pages so far. That's not true. We got through a whole bunch. And Snape resigned on the spot and was never seen in public again. The words had escaped him before he knew what he was saying. Several people gasped, including Hermione. Behind Snoop, however, Ron, Dean, and Seamus grinned appreciatively. Detention, Saturday night. My office, said Snape. I do not take cheek from anyone, Potter. Not even the chosen one. Oh, not as good as Harry's. That was brilliant, Harry, chortled Ron, once they were safely on their way to break a short while later. You really shouldn't have said it, said Hermione, frowning at Ron. What made you? He tried to jinx me, in case you didn't notice, fumed Harry. I had enough of that during these occlumency lessons. Why doesn't he use another guinea pig for a change? What's Dumbledore playing at anyway, letting him teach defense? Did you hear him talking about the dark arts? He loves them, all that unfixed, indestructible stuff. Well, said Hermione, I thought he sounded a bit like you. Like me? Yes, when you were telling us what it's like to face Voldemort. You said it was just memorizing a bunch of spells. You said it was just you and your brains and your guts. It wasn't just memorizing a bunch of spells. Well, wasn't that what Snape was saying? That it really comes down to being brave and quick thinking? Harry was so disarmed that she had thought his... Oh, gosh, this thing's falling a bit. Okay, there we go. Harry was so disarmed that she had thought his words as well worth memorizing as the standard book of spells that he did not argue. Harry! Hey, Harry! Harry looked around. Jack Sloper. Oh, give me some adjectives for Sloper. What are some adjectives for Sloper? Jack Sloper.
He's inconsequential.
Inconsequential. Wow.
Don't worry about it.
Jack Sloper, one of the beaters on the previous year's Gryffindor Quidditch team, was hurrying towards him holding a roll of parchment. Gryffindor beaters from the last book. Yeah. I'm just going to give him some voice. For you, panted Sloper. Listen, I heard you're the new captain. When you holding trials? I'm not sure yet, said Harry, thinking privately that Sloper would be very lucky to get back on the team. I'll let you know. Oh, right. I was hoping it'd be this weekend. But Harry
It
was...
just sounds like you.
Oh, good one. But Harry was not listening. He just recognized the thin, slanting writing on the parchment. Leaving Sloper in mid-sentence, he hurried away with Ron and Hermione, unrolling the parchment as he said. He's kind of thick. Oh, there we go. Okay, who's writing? Right. Albus Dumbledore.
Dear Harry, I would like to start a private lesson this Saturday. Kindly come along to my office at 8 p.m. I hope you are enjoying your first day back at school. Yours sincerely, Albus Dumbledore. Yes, I enjoy acid pops.
He's just the hungriest dude for sweets.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's why he's my kindred spirit.
Yeah.
He enjoys acid pops, said Ron, who had read the message over Harry's shoulder and was looking perplexed. It's the password to get past the gargoyle outside his study, said Harry in a low voice. Snape's not going to be pleased. I won't be able to do his detention. That Dumbledore probably knew that. Ron, and Hermione spent the whole of break speculating on what Dumbledore would teach Harry. Ron thought it would most likely to be spectacular jinxes and hexes of the type Death Eaters would not know. Hermione said such things were illegal and thought it much more likely... Oh, the light's not changing either. Something's going wrong. Whatever. Stick with this. Yep. What's yup about? Anybody else have the wheel? Something wrong with our internet. Oh, shoot. Am I back? Something's up with the internet today. Sorry about that.
They'll pause. Oh no, it's not.
Kept thinking it was my internet back now. Oh, we got some connection issues. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't know what is going on. Yeah. Can't really do anything about it. That's might just be the internet today. Sorry. It's going in and out. You keep freezing. No, it's back-ish. Huh. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's nothing that I can fix. Might be one of those days. I see the buffering on my page as well. We're back. All right. I don't know what's going on, but we'll just do what we can, hey?
Yeah.
Just keep going and do what we can.
You're back. Someone says back.
Back.
Yeah, I think it's all in Vancouver, someone's saying. And that's, we had a power outage yesterday. Things are weird.
Oh, okay. So this is something in Vancouver, apparently. Something happening in Vancouver. So it's nothing I can fix. We'll try work common room, where they grudgingly started Snape's homework. This turned out to be so complex that they still had not finished when Hermione joined them for their after-lunch free period, though she considerably speeded up the process. They'd only just finished when the bell rang for the afternoon's double potions, and they beat the familiar path down to the dungeon classroom that had, for so long, been Snape's. It's fine now. Okay, good. When they arrived in the corridor, they saw that there were only a dozen people progressing to Newt level. Crabbe and Goyelle had evidently failed to achieve the required owl. No surprise there. Like, how did they beat
How did
anything?
they get this far?
How did they get any owl? They don't say anything. They don't even talk.
They just intimidate the professors.
Yeah, they're just like, they come around afterwards like,
If you don't give us the owl, we will beat the crap out of you.
But 4 Slytherins had made it through, including Malfoy. 4 Ravenclaws were there and 1 Hufflepuff. Ernie Macmillan, whom Harry liked despite his rather pompous manner. Harry, Ernie said portentously, holding out his hand as Harry approached. Didn't get a chance to speak in defense against the dark arts this morning. Good lesson, I thought. But shield charms are old hat, of course, for us old DA lags. And how are you, Ron? Hermione? Before they could say more than fine, the dungeon door opened and Slughorn's belly preceded him out of the door. As they filed into the room, his great walrus mustache carved above his beaming mouth, and he greeted Harry and Zabini with particular enthusiasm.
What do you think of Slughorn?
I think he's I think he's a good guy. I think he's just like, just full of himself and just cares about fame and money more. Those are his flaws. I think he's a good guy, but his flaws kind of outshine his good qualities. That's what I think.
All right.
Yeah. The dungeon was, most unusually, already full of vapors and odd smells. Hey, buddy. Harry, Ron, and Hermione sniffed interestedly as they passed large, bubbling cauldrons. The 4 Slytherins took a table together, as did the 4 Ravenclaws. This left Harry, Ron, and Hermione to share a table with Ernie. What is Ernie? Is he a Ravenclaw? Or is he a Gryffindor?
Ernie? Oh, man. I forget. It's been a little while.
Yeah. Somebody probably knows. Wheel of Death again. I'm sorry about that. Well, we'll just keep on going however much we can. Hufflepuff. He's a Hufflepuff. Okay. Oh, Hufflepuff Prefect. Gotcha. They chose the one nearest a gold-colored cauldron that was emitting one of the most seductive scents Harry had ever inhaled. Somehow it reminded him simultaneously of treacle tart, the woody smell of a broomstick handle, and something flowery he thought he might have smelled at the burrow. He found that he was breathing very slowly and deeply, and that the potion's fumes seemed to be filling him up like a drink. A great contentment stole over him. He grinned across at Ron, who grinned lazily back. just put some weed vapors into the air. Let's get these kids high!
So, kids, what you think? Now then,
said Slughorn, whose massive outline was quivering through the many shivering vapors.
Scales out, everyone, and potion kits, and don't forget your copies of advanced potion making.
Sir, said Harry, raising his hand.
Harry, me boy.
I haven't got a book or scales or anything, nose Ron. We didn't realize we'd be able to do the newt, you see.
Yes.
Professor McGonagall
did mention. Not to worry, my dear boy. Not to worry at all. You can use ingredients from the store cupboard today, and I'm sure we can lend you some scales. And we've got a small stock of old books here. They'll do until you can write the flourishing blots.
Slughorn strode over to a corner cupboard, and after a moment of foraging, emerged with 2 very battered-looking copies of Advanced Potion Making by Libaceous Barrage, which he gave to Harry and Ron along with 2 sets of tarnished scales.
Your Slughorn is straight up Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly. Is that the dude with long hair?
Is the super funny Scottish guy.
In what?
In everything.
I think I know. He's got long hair, right?
This guy.
Who is it? Oh, yeah. He's the dude with the long hair. Okay. Sweet. I'm happy with that. Mike Myers playing the dad from So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah. He does the voice in Brave.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a good compliment. Thank you, Kenton.
Well, I mean, a bad version, but...
Oh, yeah? Slughorn strode over to a corner cupboard. No, we already got that.
Now then,
said Slughorn, returning to the front of the class and inflating his already bulging chest so that the buttons on his waistcoat threatened to burst off.
I've prepared a few potions for you to have a look at, just out of interest, you know. These are the kind of thing you ought to be able to make after completing your newts. You ought to have heard of them, even if you haven't made them yet. Anyone tell me what this one is?
He indicated the cauldron nearest the Slytherin table. Harry raised himself slightly in his seat and saw what looked like plain water boiling away inside of it. Hermione's well-practiced hand hit the air before anybody else's. Slughorn pointed at her. It's Veritaserum, a colourless, odourless potion that forces the drinker to tell the truth.
Relentless.
Relentless.
Relentless nerdiness.
Said Hermione.
Very good. Very good.
Said Slughorn happily.
Nay,
he continued, pointing at the cauldron nearest the Ravenclaw table.
This one here is pretty well known. Featured in a few ministry leaflets lately too. Who can...
Hermione's hand was fastest once more.
It's Polyjuice Potion, sir!
She said. Harry, too, had recognized the slow, bubbling, mud-like substance in the second cauldron, but did not resent Hermione getting the credit for answering the question. She, after all, was the one who had succeeded in making it back in their second year. I prefer your Slughorn. It's perfect, just the way I imagined it. Oh, good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Excellent! Excellent! Nay, this one here. Yes, my dear,
said Slughorn, now looking slightly bemused as Hermione's hand punched the air again. It's Amotentia! It's Amotentia. Amotentia.
It is indeed. Seems almost foolish to ask,
said Slughorn, who was looking mightily impressed.
But I assume you know what it does.
It's the most powerful love potion in the world! Said Hermione.
Quite right. You recognised it, I suppose, by its distinctive mother-of-pearl sheen.
And the steam She's so into it.
Eager.
Yeah, so eager.
So eager.
And the steam rising in characteristic spirals, said Hermione enthusiastically. And it's supposed to smell differently to each of us according to what attracts us. And I can smell freshly mown grass, a new parchment, and... But she turned slightly pink and did not complete the sentence.
May I ask your name, my dear?
Said Slughorn, ignoring Hermione's embarrassment. Hermione Granger, sir.
Granger. Granger. Can you possibly be related to Hector Dagworth Granger, who founded the most extraordinary society of potioneers?
No, I don't think so, sir. I'm Muggle-born, you see. Harry saw Malfoy lean close to Nott and whisper something. Both of them sniggered. But Slughorn showed no dismay. On the contrary, he beamed and looked from Hermione to Harry, who was sitting next to her. That voice makes me think of Merida's dad on Brave. That's the character. That's Billy Connolly, who voices that character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
That's the one, not Brave, right?
No,
Brave.
He's in Brave too.
Oh, he's in both of those?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wow. Okay. Muggle-born, you see.
Oh!
Sorry, what was it? Right.
Oh! One of my best friends is Muggle-born, and she's the best in our year. I'm assuming this is the very friend of whom you spoke, Harry.
Yes, sir, said Harry.
Well, well! Take 20 well-earned points for Gryffindor, Miss Granger,
said Slughorn genially. Malfoy looked rather as he had done the time Hermione had punched him in the face. That was the best. That was the best.
Yeah, that was great.
That was so good.
I love that part.
Yeah, she just like straight up punches him in the face.
Decks him. Finally, someone just decks him.
I hope, and don't tell me if it is or it isn't. I hope in the movies it does it justice in that moment. I really want just to see the teeth fly out of his mouth. Hermione turned to Harry with a radiant expression and whispered, "Did you really tell him I'm the best in the year?" "Oh, Harry." Well, what's so impressive about that? Whispered Ron, who for some reason looked annoyed. "You are the best in the year. I'd have told him so if he'd asked me." Oh, a little jealousy going on. He is in both movies. Hermione smiled but made a shushing gesture so that they could hear what Slughorn was saying.
I bet she makes that gesture a lot.
Oh, for sure.
All the time.
Shush!
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, she wants to hear. I want to hear what they're saying. Yeah. Ron creates the most distraction.
Oh, yeah.
Harry's both ways. Sometimes he wants to listen, sometimes he wants to...
He's in the middle.
And then Hermione needs to shush it up always. Ron looks slightly disgruntled.
That is probably happening all the time.
All the time. Yeah, for sure. They're like... I mean, their dynamic hasn't changed one iota since the beginning of the books, which is great. It's a great dynamic. He's always like, "Well, I don't know." She's like, "No."
Yeah.
But they're both great people.
Yeah.
And also, depending on your reaction, whether you dislike me displaying Hermione that way, or if you dislike me portraying Ron that way, just as what kind of character you are.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amortentia, wait, who's saying this?
Amortentia doesn't really create love, of course. It's impossible to manufacture or imitate love. No, this will simply cause a powerful infatuation or obsession. It is probably the most dangerous and powerful potion in this room.
Oh, yes, he said, nodding gravely at Malfoy and Nott, both of whom were smirking skeptically.
When you have seen as much of life as I have, you will not underestimate the power of obsessive love. And now, said Slughorn, it is time for us to start work.
Sir, you haven't told us what's in this one, said Ernie Macmillan, pointing at a small black cauldron standing on Slughorn's desk. The potion within was splashing about merrily. I'm just a potion! It was the color of molten gold, and large drops were leaping like goldfish above the surface, though not a particle had spilled. Malfoy looked stunned, rather like Harry when he had slammed his face into the desk 2 books ago.
Oh-ho!
Said Slughorn again.
Oh!
Harry was sure that Slughorn had not forgotten the potion at all, but had waited to be asked for dramatic effect. Oh, so he's an actor, he's a performer.
He's showy. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, that one, ladies and gentlemen, is a most curious little potion called Felix Felicus.
You tell me. I mean, how am I supposed to know all these things?
It's better this way.
Yeah, probably.
Felicus Felicis.
Just commit. Whatever you're gonna do.
Felicis. Oh, Felicis. Completely wrong.
I take it
He turned, smiling to look at Hermione, who had let out an inaudible gasp.
that you know what Felix Felicis does, Miss Granger.
It's liquid luck, said Hermione excitedly. It makes you lucky. It's just way too much. It's just way overboard. The whole class seemed to sit up a little straighter. Now all Harry could see of Malfoy was the back of his sleek, blonde head, because he was at last giving Slughorn his full and undivided attention. Of course he wants that. I say it different every time I read it. Oh, okay. So I can just say it however I want to. What is this new Hermione? She gets faster each time. The whole class seemed to... Oh, no, here we go.
Quite right. Take another 10 points for Gryffindor. Yes, it's a funny little potion. Felix Felicis,
Said Slughorn.
Desperately tricky to make and disastrous to get wrong. However, if brewed correctly, as this has been, you will find that all your endeavours tend to succeed, at least until the effect wears off.
Terry Boot and Michael Corner. Just give him an object name for the last name, why don't you? Terry Boot. I completely forget who Terry Boot is.
Why don't people drink it all the time, sir?
Why don't people drink it all the time, sir? Said Terry Boot eagerly.
'Cause if taken in excess, it causes giddiness, recklessness, and dangerous overconfidence,
Said Slughorn.
Too much of a good thing, you know. Highly toxic in large quantities, but taken sparingly and very occasionally.
Michael Corner's next. Okay, great. Have you ever taken it, sir? Asked Michael Corner with great interest.
Twice in my life.
Said Slughorn.
Once when I was 24. Once when I was 57. 2 tablespoonfuls taken with breakfast. 2 perfect days.
Okay, so this kind of raises the question around luck in this world. So you can manufacture luck, which means there's some... yeah, okay, so in terms of magic, it's not like just this changing, atom, like when they disappear and reappear somewhere, or like, fire or ice or whatever they're throwing around, pushing people away. That's all like kind of physical, right? So luck is more of a metaphysical thing, right?
Yeah.
So I guess in the Harry Potter world.
Yeah, but ghosts are metaphysical.
Yeah, but they're not like a concept. Luck is a concept, right? It's not a.
Yeah, but a lot of people believe in luck, or
Yeah.
Superstitions.
Yeah, totally.
Concepts around that.
I'm just wondering, are there other things like that floating around too? Like,
Yeah.
well, I guess you can change people's emotions, right?
Yeah, you can make
Right,
people
so
fall
that-
in love with you.
Right. So this is a different kind of class he's teaching here. It's not about like physical things. This is all like character things and ethereal things that he's teaching.
Yeah, and it talks about who he is, right? Why would he be so into this?
Oh yeah,
Specific
yeah,
thing.
yeah. True. That's very true. Being surrounded by the most important people, I think that helps you think better things. Imagine the day where Quidditch tickets. I don't know what they're talking about there. All right, let's keep going. He gazed dreamily into the distance, whether he was play acting or not. Thought Harry. The effect was good.
And that
Said Slughorn, apparently coming back to earth.
is what I shall be offering as a prize in this lesson.
Whoa! Whoa, okay. There was a silence in which every bubble and gurgle of the surrounding potions seemed magnified tenfold.
One tiny bottle of Felix Felicis,
Said Slughorn, taking a minuscule glass
Cough, just choke. on it.
Glaucus!
with a cork in it out of his pocket and showing it to them all.
Enough for 12 hours' luck. From dawn till dusk, you will be lucky in everything you attempt. Now,
It's pretty clever to teach a class with a prize at the end.
Yeah, that's smart.
And the first lesson, too.
Like a gold star.
Yeah. Oh, like,
A
ooh,
really,
as a
really
kid?
good gold star.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember as a kid over the smiley face stickers, it was like, I want one so bad.
Yeah,
Give me that gold star.
right.
now, I must give you warning that Felix Felicis is a banned substance in organised competitions, sporting events, for instance, examinations or elections. So, the winner is to use it on an ordinary day only. And watch how that ordinary day becomes extraordinary! So,
Said Slughorn, suddenly brisk.
how are you to win my fabulous prize? Well, by turning to page 10 of Advanced Potion Making. We have a little over an hour left to us, which should be time for you to make a decent attempt at the draught of living death. At the draught of living death.
Ooh-wee!
I know it is more complex than anything you have attempted before, and I do not expect a perfect potion from anybody. The person who does best, however, will win little Felix here. Off you go!
There was a scraping as everyone drew their cauldrons towards them. And some loud clunks as people began adding weights to their scales, but nobody spoke, so intense and focused. The concentration within the room was almost tangible. Harry saw Malfoy riffling feverishly through his copy of Advanced Potion Making. It could not have been clearer that Malfoy really wanted that lucky day. Harry bent swiftly over the tattered book Slughorn had lent him. Nailed it. Nailed what? It gives you intelligence? Love is a concept as well. Yeah, right. Totally. Oh yeah, sorry, the video's a bit behind now because of that whole buffering thing. It's longer behind than usual. Maybe it's kind of like the pill from Limitless, like a right way to motivate students. Slughorn knows how to captivate his audience. He does. He really does. Oh, any side effects? Well, I think he named them, right?
Here's a good one. Would you choose a potion that would give you love, power, wisdom, or glory?
Ooh, love, power, wisdom, or glory. Love, power, wisdom, or glory. Glory is out of the picture.
Yeah, right.
I think you can get that with wisdom.
Or you might not want it with wisdom.
Exactly. Love, power. I believe you can gain power with wisdom. So wisdom trumps that. Love or wisdom. Oh, golly. I think love is the greatest thing on earth. So love.
Okay.
What? Hey, it's a quote I can put on a wall. Okay.
Beautiful.
What would you choose?
I'm gonna write that down.
What would
at
you?
night.
What would you
John
choose?
Voth.
Love is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
What would you choose?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, making fun of me, you big softy. Wisdom, clearly. That said Danny Jourdain. Pick wisdom for sure. Yeah, wisdom is a very close second. To his annoyance, he saw that the previous owner had scribbled all over the pages so that the margins were as black as the printed portions. Bending low to decipher the ingredients, even here the previous owner had made annotations and crossed things out, Harry hurried off towards the store cupboard to find what he needed. As he dashed back to his cauldron, he saw Malfoy cutting up valerian roots as fast as he could.
Idiot, it's time for John's premonition.
So the book that he's holding will have belonged to either his dad or Snape. That's what I think. That book has, I don't know why, but just the fact that it's been written in and scribbled and things that here and there, I think that's just a little weird detail. And it'll lead to something else. Everyone kept glancing around at what the rest of the class was doing. This was both an advantage and a disadvantage of potions, that it was hard to keep your work private. Within 10 minutes, the whole place was full of bluish steam. Hermione, of course, seemed to have progressed furthest. Her potion already resembled the smooth, black-currant-colored liquid mentioned as the ideal halfway stage. Having finished chopping his roots, Harry bent low over his book again. It's really very irritating having to try to decipher the directions under the stupid scribbles of the previous owner, who for some reason had taken issue with the order to cut up the Sapophoros bean and had written in the alternative instruction, "Crush with flat side of silver dagger, releases juice better than cutting." Who's saying this? Who's saying this? I don't know. Sir, I think you... Sir, I think you knew my grandfather, Abraxas Malfoy. Harry looked up. Slughorn was just passing the Slytherin table.
Yes,
Said Slughorn, without looking at Malfoy.
I was sorry to hear he had died. Although, of course, it wasn't unexpected. Dragon pox at his age.
And he walked away. Smirking. He could tell that Malfoy had expected to be treated like Harry or Zabini, perhaps even hope for some preferential treatment of the type he had learned to expect from Snape. It looked as though Malfoy would have to rely on nothing but talent to win the bottle of Felix Falala. Hey, buddy. What's going on?
He wants some love.
He wants some love? You want some love, buddy? There we go. You can listen in while I read. The Sapophoros bean was proving very difficult to cut up. Harry turned to Hermione. "Can I borrow your silver knife?" She nodded impatiently, not taking her eyes off her potion. It was still deep purple, though according to the book ought to be turning a slight shade of lilac by now. Harry crushed his bean with the flat side of the dagger. To his astonishment, it immediately exuded so much juice he was amazed the shriveled bean could have held it all. Hastily scooping it all into the cauldron, he saw to his surprise that the potion immediately turned exactly the shade of lilac described by the textbook. His annoyance with the previous owner vanishing on the spot, Harry now squinted at the next line of instructions. According to the book, he had to stir counterclockwise until the potion turned clear as water. According to the addition the previous owner had made, however, he ought to add a clockwise stir after every 7th counterclockwise stir. Could the old owner be right twice? Harry stirred counterclockwise, held his breath, and stirred once clockwise. The effect was immediate. The potion turned palest pink. "How are you doing that?" demanded Hermione, who was red-faced and whose hair was growing bushier and bushier in the fumes from her cauldron. Her potion was still resolutely purple. "Add a clockwise stir." No, the book says counterclockwise," she snapped. Harry shrugged and continued what he was doing. 7 stirs counterclockwise, 1 clockwise, pause. 7 stirs counterclockwise, 1 stir clockwise. Across the table, Ron was, Dexter, give him a big hug. I am indeed. Ron was cursing fluently under his breath. His potion looked like liquid licorice. Harry glanced around. As far as he could see, no one else's potion had turned as pale as his. He felt elated. Something that had certainly never happened before in this dungeon. Oh yeah.
And time's up,
Called Slughorn.
Stop staring, please.
Slughorn moved slowly between the tables, peering into cauldrons. He made no comment, but occasionally gave the potions a stir or a sniff. At last he reached the table where Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Ernie were sitting. He smiled ruefully at the tar-like substance in Ron's cauldron. He paused over Ernie's navy concoction. Hermione's potion he gave an approving nod. Then he saw Harry's, and a look of incredulous delight spread over his face.
The clear winner!
He cried to the dungeon.
Excellent! Excellent!
Oh, sorry, buddy. I really shouted in his ear. Sorry,
Poor
buddy.
Dex.
Sorry. He was so shocked.
Get him away from you.
Yeah, get him away from me.
Yeah.
I'm abusing my dog.
I got you, buddy. I got you.
Yeah, there you
Don't worry
go.
about him. He's mean.
So shocked.
He's mean.
Hey, that's my son you're talking about.
Good Lord! It's clear you've inherited your mother's talent. She was a dab hand at potions, Lily was. Here you are then. Here you are. One bottle of Felix Felicis, as promised, and used it well.
Harry slipped. Oh, it could also be his mom's book as well. Yeah, well, it could be his parents or his one of his parents or Snape's. Harry slipped a tiny bottle of golden liquid into his inner pocket, feeling an odd combination of delight at the furious looks on Slytherin's faces and guilt at the disappointed expressions on Hermione's. Ron looked simply dumbfounded. I'm just checking out. Okay, we'll finish this chapter. How did you do that? He whispered to Harry as they left the dungeon. Got lucky, I suppose, said Harry, because Malfoy was within earshot. Once they were securely ensconced at the Gryffindor table for dinner, however, he felt safe enough to tell them. Hermione's face became stonier with every word he uttered. I suppose you think I cheated, he finished, aggravated by her expression. Well, it wasn't exactly your own work, was it? She said stiffly. You only followed different instructions to ours, said Ron. Could have been a catastrophe, couldn't it? But he took a risk, and it paid off. He heaved a sigh. Slughorn could have handed me that book, but no. I get the one no one's ever written in. Puked on, by the look of page 52, but... He's just like a clown. He's a clown in the book.
Yeah, totally.
It's the best. No. Neville is kind of the clown character. No, Neville is the physical clown character. He's like just like the...
Yeah. Peeves is the evil clown.
Yeah, actually true.
Yeah.
True, yeah. Hang on, said a voice close by Harry's left ear, and he caught a sudden waft of that flowery smell he had picked up in Slughorn's dungeon. He looked around and saw that Ginny had joined them. Did I hear right? You've been taking orders from something someone wrote in a book, Harry? She looked alarmed and angry. Harry knew what was on her mind at once. It's nothing, he said reassuringly, lowering his voice. It's not like, Riddle's diary. Just an old textbook someone scribbled in. But you're doing what it says. I just tried a few of the tips written in the margins. Honestly, Ginny, there's nothing funny. Ginny's got a point, said Hermione, perking up at once. We ought to check that there's nothing odd about it. I mean, all those funny instructions? Who knows? Hey, said Harry indignantly as she pulled his copy of Advanced Potion Making out of his bag and raised her wand. Specialis Revelio, she said, wrapping it smartly on the front cover. Nothing whatsoever happened. The book simply lay there, looking old and dirty and dog-eared. Finished? Said Harry irritably. Or do you want to wait and see if it does a few backflips? It seems all right, said Hermione, still staring at the book suspiciously. I mean, it really does seem to be just a textbook. Good, then I'll have it back, said Harry, snatching it off the table. But it slipped from his hand and landed open on the floor. Nobody else was looking. Harry bent low to retrieve the book, and as he did so, he saw something scribbled along the bottom of the back cover in the same small, cramped handwriting as the instructions that had won him his bottle of Felix Felicis, now safely hidden inside a pair of socks in his trunk upstairs. This book is the property of the Half-Blood Prince. End of chapter. Well, that's shocking. Oh, nice.
Oh,
Oh man.
I missed
Okay, that's crazy. So, well, I'm kind of hesitant to ask questions because we don't know much about the Half-Blood Prince at all. So, yeah. This could be just a prophecy that it lands in his hands. Half-Blood Prince is just somebody that appears every couple of 100 years or something like that. I don't know. The Half-Blood Prince. So, I don't know who it is. Could be his dad. Could be Snape. Could be his mom. Not his mom. What? Sorry?
what do you think is going to happen with the potion?
Oh, what do you think? He's gonna... When is he gonna use it? He's gonna use it... No, wait. What do you think? He's going to... Oh, no, wait. I was gonna say he's gonna fall in love with somebody this year and then use it to have a lucky day with that person, but he might as well use the love potion. So
Yeah,
he's not gonna use that. Yeah, I don't know yet. We'll see. Well, he can't use it for any competition. He's going to use it going on an adventure. When he goes on an adventure, he's gonna take it as like, oh, this is gonna be pretty heikel. So,
But doesn't he have to take it on an ordinary day?
yeah, as long as not in an official capacity,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
competitions or all the other things, right? But if he goes on an adventure, it's not official. Nobody can say you shouldn't have done that, right? Well, somebody can say that. Half-Blood Princess, join in our question. What would your love potion smell like? What would my love potion smell like?
Roast beef.
Yeah. Roast beef. Absolutely.
I know.
All right, friends. We went a little over time. We finished the chapter. Next chapter title is called Chapter 10, The House of Gaunt. That's going to be fun.
Oh, that's a great chapter.
Oh, awesome. Cool. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah.
Kenton will pop by every once in a while whenever he comes by. And I'm going to fix the camera because you can just... You look like you're in a video game. Look at that. You just look like you're in a video game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right, friends. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday. Last day before the weekend. We'll be finished. We'll definitely get through the House of Gaunt, whatever that means. Other than that, have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye to Kenton, everybody.
Bye, guys.